You don't like Ace Trumpets? Oh,
What's so great about it?
it's so good.
Out of my top 50, you might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that,
Pusha
but
top 50.
you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like, I didn't never want to be like Pusha. I never had a Pusha moment.
You made a comparison with you and Nas, man. Everybody was talking about it. Now, why out of everybody you pick Nas, bro?
I didn't do it.
They asked him.
No.
They asked him a question.
Jim Jones really picked the worst names to mess with. Nas and Pusha T, straight up legends. And he dissed both like he had nothing left to lose. Now, his whole rap career is hanging on by a single thread. That's all it took to flip the culture on him. He claimed Nas was never that impactful, said Pusha T was overrated, even said he made Nas go viral again. And people are saying that's when he crossed the line, a line he might not be able to come back from, because what followed? It didn't feel like regular rap beef anymore. This felt bigger, like something behind the scenes had already been set in motion. So now we gotta ask, was this just another ego trip gone wild?
I had Nas. But remember, Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade. So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like, you dig? Came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then, as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals will be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitate.
Or is the culture slowly pushing Jim out? The same one he once helped build? That quote's still making the rounds. His Summer Jam set got slashed, and trust, Pusha T's not letting this go. So, let's rewind it all and break down what really sparked this slow-motion takedown. That one sentence sent Jim Jones into a straight free fall. This wasn't just throwing shade, it was full-on erasure. He didn't just critique Nas's recent tracks. He dismissed the entire legacy of one of hip-hop's most respected icons. Let's break it down. This didn't happen on some random mic. Jim dropped that bomb on the Joe and Jada podcast, a show known for chill convos, not for ending careers. And instead of walking it back, Jim doubled down with his whole chest. He basically said Nas never really mattered to the culture, and even claimed his own Billboard numbers could rival or top Nas's. Let's get something straight. Nas isn't just a rapper. He's a foundation of hip-hop. Illmatic gets studied in college classes. Ether still haunts seasoned rappers to this day. And King's disease? That proved he's not washed. He's still leveling up.
I mean, into light and started going crazy that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them. Some of them know. But
You know what I mean?
A lot
Like-
of them know.
Meanwhile, Jim's talking like he just dropped the Chronic. Wild. And here's the twist. This wasn't even about rap. It was pure ego dressed up as opinion. Insecurity. Plain and simple. And the wildest part? He dragged his own kid into it. Like, what kind of message is that even sending? The internet didn't waste a second. They started pulling out every Nas award, every sold-out show, every classic. Side-by-side comparisons flooded the timeline, and Jim's numbers, let's just say they didn't hold up. All this mess just because he wanted to rewrite hip-hop history with a hot take nobody asked for. And most people, after getting cooked like that online, would at least try to walk it back or cool it down. But not Jim. Instead, he jumped on Nightcap, looked Shannon Sharp dead in the eye, and tripled down. He straight up said Nas never had the influence people give him credit for. Then he hit us with this. Nas was always in second place. Second to who? Jay and DMX? That's wild. Those three weren't even in the same lane. Nas was deep, spiritual, poetic, reflective. Jay was all about the corporate hustle. And DMX, pure chaos and pain. That's like trying to compare Kendrick to Future. Completely different animals, with totally different missions. Saying Nas never led the pack isn't just a bad take. It's rewriting history. And here's the kicker. Jim doesn't even pretend to hate Nas. He admits that, as a teen, he wanted to dress just like him.
Boy, you should have never brought this up. Y'all are only 3 years apart, and Nas is just like murdering you. You asked us to look up the stats, and here they are. Like Jim Jones, like you got a couple songs. I mean, like literally, it's a couple. But we're talking about Nas. Let me show y'all Nas's last projects. Nas been getting it in since 2018. Jimmy, when the last time you put out an album?
Man really pulled out a film from 1998 to try and discredit a 30-year music legacy. Like, seriously? This is where the delusion kicks in. At this point, it ain't about stats, and it definitely ain't about opinions. Jim's talking like he needs Nas to be beneath him, and he's frustrated the numbers just don't back him up. This wasn't critique, it was about positioning. Jim wanted to force his way into the same convo as the GOATs. But all he really did, expose how pressed he is about never being mentioned with them. And if you thought he was about to slow down, nope, think again. On Bag Fuel, Jim dropped one of the wildest lines of this whole saga. He didn't just say Nas wasn't relevant. He didn't just say Nas was always second place. Nope, Jim took it even further.
Can you sing along the 5 Pusha T records right now? His records.
Yes.
His records?
Yeah.
Name
I love
them.
Pusha. Nostalgia.
Oh, you was a Pusha T fan.
If you know, you know.
I didn't know he had fans like that. Can you name 5 Pusha T records? No, his records. Pusha T, I love your soul, my dog. You're not in my top 50. You might be in Charlemagne's top 50 and things like that, but
top 50.
you haven't done that much for me in my life. Like, I didn't never want to be like Pusha. I never had a Pusha moment in my life. I never thought, like you did, like, where I'm from, niggas.
He claimed he's the reason Nas went viral again. Like the whole culture somehow forgot Nas existed until Jim spoke up. He really acted like the game owed him a thank you card for the reminder. And the internet, it exploded. One fan clapped back. The reason you're being talked about is because you keep making dumb comments about Nas. That's the only reason folks interviewing you, for the clicks. Another chimed in. The amount of delusional disrespect from Jim Jones toward Nas is getting out of hand. I'm over it. You don't earn stripes talking wild like this. And they weren't wrong. The math wasn't mathin'. Nas has been moving heavy. 3 albums in 5 years, a Grammy win, and packed out shows all over. Nas has been putting in work, while Jim's been out here podcasting like he's leading the culture. He really thought he was starting a trend. What he actually started was his own slow-motion career funeral. Let's rewind to 2024. The Louis Vuitton Spring Summer Show in Paris is packed wall to wall with icons. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, LeBron. Every major force in music, fashion, and culture is in the building. Cameras flashing, eyes everywhere. Pharrell's debuting his first collection as the new head of Louis Vuitton Men's. This is already a moment in history. Then suddenly, the beat drops. But this ain't just some background music. It's Clipse.
I want to be like you if you was really that dude and that rapper and things
Wayne
like that.
wanted to
It's
be like Pusha.
Shit.
He was influenced by Pusha.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's why Pusha did the Mr. Me Too record.
Okay, cool. You a very strong Pusha T fan. You heard? But what else has he bring to the game? Did he make people want to dress like him? Did he have some slang that everybody was talking like him? There'll be the girls, all the girls wanted to do him. Like, what is the...
For the first time in over a decade, Pusha T and No Malice premiere a brand new track. And the lyrics? You could feel the whole energy shift. Immediately. Even Jay-Z was nodding to it. That wasn't just shade. That was a declaration of war, dropped right in the middle of the most high-profile event of the year. And those lyrics, they said everything. Everybody knew who that verse was aimed at. That chasing a feature out of your element bar. Direct shot at Jim, teaming up with Drake right after being crowned honorary Dipset on stage in Harlem. And let's not forget, that's the same Drake that Pusha destroyed in The Story of Adidon. And some say he still ain't fully bounced back. But this wasn't Pusha dropping a diss on SoundCloud for clicks. This was strategy. Pusha turned Paris Fashion Week into his battleground. That's how far ahead this man is moving. Meanwhile, Jim dragged Pusha on The Breakfast Club, Rap Caviar, and Drink Champs, talking reckless, saying, Pusha not even top 50. Like, really? But Pusha didn't stoop to the podcast drama. He brought out billionaires, luxury brands, and GOATs to the front row of his revenge. And don't miss the details. This wasn't just about bars. It was about setting.
The Spotify Rap Caviar podcast.
Yes.
About
Man,
Pusha T.
People don't like people, yeah, see? There we go. And then look what happens. But I'm ready for all things, man. Shouts to Pusha, shouts to that guy, shouts to the Clipse. I mean, congratulations.
Do you like the new song?
No, but you know.
You don't like Ace Trumpets?
What What's so great
What is
about it?
Hooligan? It's so good.
It's good.
It's so, oh man.
It's good.
So yeah, there's something going on
Good
that you
in
ain't
what?
telling us about,
It's
bro.
good in what? A nostalgic value of it.
You don't.
Pharrell produced the track, the same Pharrell who helped build Clipse's entire sound. A man tied to both Virginia and fashion's most elite circles. They debuted Chains and Whips, a track reportedly cooked up inside Louis Vuitton's Paris HQ with a view overlooking the Seine River. Pharrell even told the New York Times, pointing out the exact window. That was made in this room. We were just walking around, looking out this window, and you see all of this. I mean, we beating the system, bro. But while Pusha was playing chess in Paris, Nas was out in Queens, building an empire. While Jim was chasing blog buzz and podcast clips, Nas was making power moves, launching Resorts World Queens, a 350,000 square foot casino project backed by a jaw-dropping $5 billion vision. This ain't just some brand collab. This is Nas investing in infrastructure, equity, and generational wealth for his borough. Straight legacy moves. Meanwhile, Jim out here flexing summer jam slots like it's still 2008. Nas didn't even need to clap back with a verse. He dropped receipts. And those hits, way harder than any diss track could ever be. Fans caught on instantly. The comments under Nas's post were brutal. Jim just couldn't stop running his mouth, chasing viral moments while Nas was out here making boss moves. When you're truly rich, respected, and still relevant, you don't gotta clap back. You let your lifestyle do the talking. Meanwhile, Jim, he got booed off stage. Let's paint the picture. Summer Jam 2024. Jim finally lands the moment he's clearly been chasing all year. But the second he touches that stage, silence. No hype, no love. Then it gets worse. Funkmaster Flex, the same Flex who's always backed Jim, cuts the set short. And you can see it hit Jim right there in the spotlight. This was supposed to be his big moment. But all that energy he spent building up this beef, it didn't land. Because when it came time to perform, Jim didn't bring hits. He brought drama, and drama don't chart. But even after all that, Jim still wasn't finished. He had one more diss locked and loaded, and this one got personal. After that Louis Vuitton moment, Pusha didn't say much out loud, but behind the scenes, word was spreading. He wasn't done. Sources close to Clipse say their reunion album is stacked with surgical shots, directly aimed at Jim. That Paris debut, that was just the opening scene. What's coming next? Way darker. Insiders are calling it Pusha's Coke Bear moment. He's fully stepping into that villain role, and he's not pulling punches. If Jim keeps yapping, it's about to be lyrical murder. And it's not just the bars, it's how he's doing it. Pusha's aligning his comeback with luxury spaces, global stages, and power players. Meanwhile, Jim's rapping in Harlem alleyways over the same exact beat he just got buried on. Yeah, you read that right. Jim really tried to flip the Chains and Whips beat and dropped his own freestyle in response. Bold or desperate? You decide. Jim really crossed the line when he threw shade at No Malice. Taking shots at Pusha? That's part of the game. But dragging in No Malice, a man who walked away from rap to follow his faith and change his life, that wasn't just a diss. That was straight up disrespect. Pusha hasn't fired back yet, but if history's taught us anything, he doesn't move quick. He moves smart. And when he strikes, it hits lethal. Then Jim made his biggest mistake so far, dissing Clipse's new single on camera during an interview. One more swing at Clipse, clowning their new track Chains and Whips with that fake cool energy. He tried to play it off saying, "I don't listen to Clipse, never have." But the chill act slipped fast, and all that insecurity leaked out between every word. Deep down, Jim knows they targeted him, and they bodied him. Now the energy's shifting. It's not just Pusha and Nas anymore. The culture itself is shutting the door on Jim Jones. The blogs are tearing him apart. Even fans who used to ride hard for Dipset are now telling Jim to hang it up. This wasn't beef. This was a lesson. Jim Jones stepped into the ring thinking he could spar with Nas and Pusha T and got folded by silence, chess moves, and billionaire-level power plays. He's not trending. He's not on playlists. He's become a ghost in the very game he helped build. And here's the real kicker. Clipse's album hasn't even dropped yet. That might be the final nail. So if you thought this beef was wild, just wait for what's coming next. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because you don't want to miss the next chapter in this saga. This ain't over. Not even close.